Hi, Tracy my Golfish here, Tracy Sews. Hold on one second, let me get this skirt finished. And I will talk to you about making a very easy Little House on the Prairie skirt. The steps I go through and some tips and some other things. So here we go. I am making 1860s style skirts for Carillon Brewery, historical Carillon Park. Now, they work in food services, so they have to be professionally sewn. In the 1860s, they didn't have sergers. They probably didn't have sewing machines just quite yet. So historically, everything would have been hand-stitched. But they need a whole bunch of clothes, so who has time for that? So I'll walk you through a very simple Little House on the Prairie dress that you can make at home to make it really easy for you. So the first thing I do is I get the length of the person, waist to ankle. How much is it? So this lady was 36 inches. So I went ahead and cut two panels of 36-inch fabric. And the easiest way to do it is just to take a yardstick, lay it down, make a snip, and rip the fabric. That way you stay straight on grain. And do that twice. So you've got a front panel and a back panel. The width of the fabric for cotton calicos is what they wore back then. It's usually about 45 inches. So you've got two 45-inch panels. The next thing I do for durability is I serge, which if you don't have a serger, you can zigzag all the way around the entire piece first. So the flat piece, I go ahead and serge around because it's much easier to sew on a flat piece than a circle. The second thing I do is go ahead and sew the sides. I used 1/2-inch seam allowance for mine. That makes it really easy. If I move my sewing machine needle all the way to the left, it will be exactly a 1/2 inch running alongside of the foot. So I don't have to worry about any of those numbers. I just run the fabric alongside of the foot. The fabric is underneath both feet dogs, so it pulls it evenly. Then I press my seam open, and before I do anything else, I go ahead and hem the bottom of the skirt before I start putting stuff on the top. This makes it easier. Hemming shouldn't always be the last step. If you know the measurement, you know it's going to hang right. She's going to be 36 inches. This is 36 inches. I can go ahead and hem the skirt. So I have hemmed a 2-inch hem, and I just take and press all the way around the skirt. A couple pins and top stitch, a nice stitch right along there. It's barely noticeable if you get the color very close. So the next thing I need to do is make a waistband for my skirt. Now her waist was also 36 inches, so that makes it really, really easy. So basically, I make another snip in my fabric at 5 inches because we're going to take the waistband and fold it in half, which will make it 2.5 inches, and then a 1/2-inch seam allowance and a 1/2-inch seam allowance on each side is going to make us a 2-inch waistband. So cut 5 inches if you want a 2-inch waistband. Here's my waistband right here. I went ahead and gathered the skirt. It's all gathered, the skirt of the dress. I took my waistband and I went to the ironing board and I folded the narrow edges over a 1/2 inch, and then I folded my waistband in half and gave it a press so it's got a top line, and then I folded under the seam allowance. So you see that there? The seam allowance is nice and folded under. And then I took my waistband and my gathered skirt and I attached it the back of the skirt, which is the wrong side, and the front of the waistband, which is the right side of the fabric. I placed that together. This is what I was sewing when we started. I placed that together. I made the gathers very even. It helps if you take the gathers and smash them down with the iron so that they're not pushing around. They'll pretty much stay in place if you smash them with the iron. And of course, pin everything because that will definitely smush it around. So it will look like this with the skirt. Nope, I must have missed a pin. That can happen sometimes. Just don't ever want to go over a pen with your serger. It will break it. So there, and then I will take, and this makes it so there's no hand stitching. Of course, we have String Monster from all the gathers. Look at all these strings that'll have to be clipped. I'll have to go once over. But then I can simply take the waistband, fold it over the gathers, and I will be able to top stitch the entire waistband down, and nobody will ever know I didn't hand stitch it. Saved me hours of time, and it will look great. So that's pretty much it. How is it going to close? I've got an opening here to get in, and for my skirts, they didn't have zippers back then. Velcro doesn't work through the wash a few times, and loop and Velcro will start to get all frayed and make a mess. So the best thing that I engineered was two about 12-inch ties and a few buttonholes so it can be altered. So when people quit, they pass down their uniforms, and everybody's not the same size. So if I make a 36-inch waistband and I put a buttonhole right here and a buttonhole right here and a buttonhole right here, the other people can adjust it to fit different sizes. Or if you gain weight in the winter, you'll be able to adjust your waistband size like me. So I hope you have a great day. Tracy McElfresh. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm on all of them. If you need a lesson, hit me up. Tracy Sews is my handle. My name is spelled McElfresh, M-C-E-L-F-R-E-S-H. I'm a fresh elf. So I hope you have a great day. Thanks.